How's it going, everybody? Marv here. Wanted to talk to you guys about something that happened earlier today. I was working with one of my clients, and um, she had a setback. She had gone on a business trip, and the industry that she's in do like a lot of expos. They do a lot of hosting of clients, and there's naturally a lot of entertaining of clients involved. And we have been training now for some time now, and made some significant progress in weight loss, which is one of her goals, and getting her fitness up, and just getting just a general consistency. But she's over 40, so one of her goals was to kind of get back to a healthier weight and kind of maintain it. And we were doing really well, and then of course she went on this trip, and then came back and put on a few, and really felt down, and kind of felt like she let us down. She let herself down, and she was kind of bummed out, and I don't think she was ready for the challenges that she met on her trip. And talking to her about it a little bit more, because there's always more to the story. I didn't want to just look at it like, oh, you know she ate what she wasn't supposed to eat, or drank what she wasn't supposed to drink. I didn't want to go down that route. I felt like there was more to it, and there was. Um, and the truth was that she'd been working from home for some time, and what that allowed her to do is kind of not be in the office, and also not be under the pressure of being around certain people who had different eating and living and lifestyle habits than she had. So this was like the first time she was actually with them and working with them for some time. When she went away, the first thing that they noticed is that she had you know gotten herself into a fitter shape. She was much more confident. She was wearing clothing that made her feel confident, and just carrying herself in a much better way, and all due to the work that she had been putting in. So she wasn't kind of prepared for the challenge of not being accepted for her choices, right? So part of what we had found out is what foods didn't work well with her, and we had removed them from her diet. One of them being dairy, the other being alcohol, and she had kind of put these items aside, and was working with kind of getting her body back into a healthier balance, and and just managing her energy, and with a certain amount of exercise, and balanced meals. But the problem was is that the people that she was with weren't kind of prepared to accept that. So they challenged her. So as she was out there and she went there, she thought, one, that her new life choices and what she wanted, and how happy she was that that would be supported by these coworker and friends that she thought she had. And in reality, in one sense or another, they kind of bullied her into, and or kind of made her feel a certain type of way when she ordered food that either she requested to not have dairy, or she requested that she wasn't going to drink. And they kind of shunned her, or made her feel bad about it. And then by like the second day, she found herself eating what everybody else was eating, and drinking what everybody else was drinking, and wasn't able to kind of keep to that. And that really upset her, because she felt like if she didn't listen to them, she felt as if she didn't kind of go along with everybody else, that they were going to have a problem with it. And saying things like, oh, what are you trying to lose weight? Oh, what are you trying to be different? Oh, but you don't drink any. Oh, you're boring, this and that. And I don't think she was prepared for that. And I was trying to explain to her that as she operates within a group setting, and she starts to make choices as an individual, the group isn't always going to be ready to let you go. They almost like you better the way you are, rather than what you're trying to become, for different reasons, right? Sometimes we highlight other people's weaknesses when we show our strength. So instead of us feeling as if we're leading or being inspirational, we're almost shedding a light on the fact that they're not doing the things that they could do to be better, right? Our light casts a shadow on them. And their response is like crabs in a bucket, to pull you back in, right? And at first, sometimes it's just some form of kind of hazing slash public ridicule or somehow making you the butt of jokes or little snazzy remarks. But at the end of the day, it's making you feel different in a negative way. Now, one of the things that I sometimes I tell my clients is understand that if you told somebody that you were on medication, that you're currently doing, that you currently are having allergy responses to certain foods, they're more likely to let you order differently without giving you crap about it than if you tell them that you're making health choices or you're trying to be fit. Because one of them makes it seem as if you can't do it and they feel sorry for you. But the other one is like you're trying to be better. And in some cases, that kind of rubs them in a certain type of way as if they're lesser or they're not as good because they still enjoy those habits that you're trying to get away from. So understand that, sometimes you have to make certain excuses in certain settings because it does benefit you. And if you got to tell somebody that, you're on medication or that you're having an allergy response or that your doctor recommended that you lay off of something, for the next X amount of weeks because, you're having, tests done, then so be it. You say what you have to say, but you understand that you may not be supported for your honest choices of having a better life. Sometimes you have to make it seem like I really wish I could, but, and stick to your guns and don't eat or drink what you're not supposed to. I'll give you a reference story. And it's kind of similar, but not. When I finally lost the weight, so I was about 100 pounds heavier. I was at 250 at my highest and made dietary changes, dropped down, went through the fitness process, trying to teach myself how to work out. Then I went to become a trainer. Then I went to a personal training school. Then, I had a long fitness journey that was, in my mid 30s and I'm 50 now. So it's been a long process. But what happened to me is that when somewhere around 40, I separated from the person I was with. And one of the things that they told me was, I liked you better when you were fat because you spent more time with me and you weren't always at the gym and you weren't always exercising and helping other people. And I realized that in most cases, some people prefer the older version of you. They prefer a version of you that doesn't change. They prefer a version of you that's comfortable for them. Because, now you won't be going to Domino's with them. Now you won't be, going out drinking to the pool hall. Now you won't be just sitting at home, putting down ice cream with them. And they're losing a little couch buddy, right? And they're not prepared for you to be the best version of you. They want the version of you that's best for them. And sometimes that's hard because you're expecting to lose weight. You're expecting to, make dietary changes. You're expecting to kind of make other sacrifices, but you're not expecting to lose friends. You're not expecting to get distant from family. You're not expecting to kind of be treated differently on Thanksgiving when your plate looks different than everybody else. You're not expecting to all of a sudden be alone on Saturday night, but everybody else is hanging out because they didn't send you an invite because they know you weren't drinking, so they decided not to invite you. It can be rough. It can be lonely. I'm not telling you it's not. I'm just saying you're worth it. And, as tough as it is, these are the choices that you have to be prepared to make because you're not going to always get applause. You're not always going to be celebrated for these choices, for becoming better, for doing the things that are better for you. But it's you that matters, not other people's opinion. So I'm telling you to just be prepared for it. You're not always going to be celebrated and you're not always going to be supported. When you are, it's great. But when you're not, don't expect it. Deal with it. Understand that on the other side is a whole new life with all new friends, all new people to inspire, people who understand you, people who have been through it, people who want you to show them a way. And that life is better when you invest in yourself because you're no longer surrounded by people who want you to remain the same. They want you to be the best version of yourself for you. If you got to get a whole new set of people around you, then so be it. I'd rather change the people around me then me myself change.